everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing another deconstruct of a song that only uses 2 chords and show you how easy it is to make full songs out of just using 2 chords. I've built this entire song based off of 2 chords, and we're just moving up and down with all the notes in between. I'm going to show you exactly what I did here, but you got to be quick because we're going to go rapid fire. I want this video to be kind of short. I don't want you to have to sit too long just listening to me ramble on about what I did. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first thing you'll notice in the song is that it's in 3/4 timing, and if you don't know how to get to 3/4 timing in your own DAW, you just go over here to options, then you go over here to any one of these MIDI settings, audio settings, general settings, any of that stuff, because it's going to open up to this same little screen. Then you go to project, and then you change this numerator from 4 to 3. That's going to get you in 3/4 timing. Of course, you know, with my channel, I use all FL Studio native plugins and sounds and whatnot. So everything that I'm showing you in this video, you should be able to pull up in your own DAW, in your own FL Studio if you're using FL Studio. The only thing that you might not be able to have would be the skyline here, because this is a instrument or a sound that I designed myself, but I'm using FL Studio Solver in Skyline or for Skyline, so it is a possibility to create this sound in FL Studio. So first thing first is the Rhodes piano, and if you know anything about the Rhodes piano, I got it from instruments, go down to keyboards, and it's going to be this Rhodes piano, which is a direct wave, so it's not even a plug-in. To me, I love this Rhodes piano. It's very simple and easy to use, and it sounds good. You do have to do a little tweaking to it, but that's with anything when you're trying to get a certain sound. If we open this up, what you see that we have going on here is really very simple. I'll show you here. We got some walking up and some walking down. The chords are here. The main chord is this C minor, and every once in a while I throw in that F in it, but that's in just every other one. And then the next chord is going to be our G minor, and every once in a while I'll throw in the F down here. And then with the notes down here, I'm just basically bouncing back and forth between the C, the G, and the C again. So I'm moving up a fifth. Same thing with the G chord, the G minor chord. I'm just bouncing back and forth between the G, the D, and the G. And these are just moving in fifths. So what it sounds like when I do that, it's like. So that's basically what I did. I played this in, so that's why it looks like it's off beat, but that's what we want. We want things to rest in the pocket. So I played everything in. Some things are before the beat, some things are after the beat, but that's neither here nor there. If you want your sound to kind of sound in the pocket like that, that's really all you got to do. What I put on it as far as the mix goes, there's a parametric EQ, boosting up that warm area for it. Then I also threw on the free reverb too to give it the space that it's in, and then of course the delay. I'm not doing very much with it at all. You don't want to do too much to it to tweak that sound. The next thing is going to be the electric piano, and the electric piano is doing the exact same thing. I literally just copied and pasted, and the only thing I did was I took out those F notes that were up here, and I took out those F notes that were down here, but it's the exact same thing. And on the mixer, the only thing that I added to it was just this reverb, and it's just to complement the Rhodes piano. And what I have, if you look right here on the mixer, I have the Rhodes piano here pan to the left, and then I have the electric piano pan to the right, and these just complement each other back and forth. So this is what it sounds like with just the Rhodes. Then I'll add the electric piano in, kind of warm it up like this. So you see it kind of fills out that extra space for it. So they just work together. And you can also find that piano here. The electric piano is also a direct wave. The next thing is this bass line that I came up with. And I found my bass. We go to Legacy, then we go to Instruments, and then you go to Bass. And it's going to be this very first one. All I did here was I played the exact same. I laid it down here on just playing it on the piano, and kind of chopped up some of it, made it a little bit choppy, but we're only using the notes, the first and the fifth of each of those chords. Same chords from the beginning. From the piano, we're just using the first and the fifth, and this is what it sounds like. And And the only thing that I put on that was parametric EQ kind of boost up the low end a little bit and kind of cut out some of that sub frequency. And I'll explain to you why I did that with the next instrument that I'll show you. Then I got the fast distortion because I wanted to boost a lot of that high end, give it that crunch, that real distorted, hard sound, like it's just aggressive. And then I added another EQ to kind of duck out some of these so that that higher harmonics could come through when it comes to the aggressive distorted sound. After that, I went and did the strings. I got 3 different strings in here. I have the mixed strings, I have the string section, and then I have the string solo. All of these can be found in your direct wave. We go to orchestral here, and we go to strings. This is Mixo C1 log, whatever that means, but that's gonna be this one right here. It's that sound. It already has a great sound to it, so I didn't have to do too much to it, to be honest. But all I'm doing with it is I'm just laying down the root note, y'all. Just really the root note here, and the root note here. And what it sounds like by itself is, it's almost like it's giving a train, it's like driving sound, and I have that mixed in below the bass, and that's why I said with the bass, I was going to show you why I took out some of that low end, because on this one specifically, I didn't take out any low end on the strings here. I wanted to kind of boost up in this one area here, but I didn't take any of the low end out because I wanted that to fill up my lower register, and it works together with the bass, and they sound like this together. It just gives a little bit more oomph to the bottom or the low end of that bass, makes it sound just more aggressive, and that's what I was going for. The next thing is the string solo section, and we can find that under instruments, go to orchestral, and then you got, of course, the string solo here. Then I got the string section. I use both of them. So the string section is right here. It's also a direct wave, and this is kind of where my melody comes in at. I had to play around with this to get it to sound how it sounds. So here it just had to get creative. It is following right here the root notes once again, here and here. But here I just kind of added some spice. So the great thing about this is that I left that space open. If you listen to the piano, the bass, and everything, they all stop at a certain time. And then I use the string section to fill in that void here. So this is what the string section sounds like by itself. There's 2 parts to the melody here. I have a melody and then I have a counter melody. This one is actually the counter melody to the actual melody, the main melody. So the only thing that I put on it is the parametric EQ, cleaning it up some. I got the reverb because I needed to put it in a certain space. And then I have the delay because I wanted it to kind of be a little bit more wavy, you know? And on the mixer here, I actually have it panned to the left because the other set of strings are going to be panned to the right, and we'll get right into the other set of strings right now. This is the string solo, and the string solo is really my melody. It's the thing that you actually feel throughout the song, and I'm just really going around with the chords. As you notice here, I'm not hitting on the very first note. I let the piano do that, I let everything else do that, and I just have this go on the second and the third, and then I'm just kind of walking up the scale in between those, I'm walking up using the notes in the chord there, and this is what it sounds like. And it doesn't make sense by itself. It doesn't make sense by itself, but once you start putting things together here, I'll show you what I mean. But first, I'll show you what's on it, actually. Also have the parametric EQ here, the reverb, and the delay. Basically the same processing. One's going to the left and one's going to the right. These sound similar, but they sound very different at the same time. So that's the reason that I'm using both of them, because even though they sound similar, they sound different. So this is what the 3 string sections sound like together. And it's just like a real orchestra, right? You got different instruments playing at different times, and they work together to create the full melody. And that's what we come up with when I put all of those together like that. All right, so the next thing is the Skyline pad. The pad is just here because I needed some type of atmosphere to lay behind. So you don't really hear the pad very much, and all the pad is doing is literally, y'all, is just playing. the chord, the root chord. So the C minor here and the G minor here, and I'm playing them not in their root position. This is in the second inversion, and I do believe this is also in second inversion. And I actually didn't put anything but a parametric EQ on it, but kind of boxed it in to get that sound. And this is coming from Sour. This same thing comes from Sour, what I was saying earlier, but this is an instrument that I created myself, or a sound that I created myself in Sour. But this is what it sounds like. So it's not very loud, and the reason it's not very loud is because, like I said, once again, this is to create an atmosphere. The next instrument that I got, and I found this in the FL Cloud. It's called the wah wah. That's what I call it too, but it's just a guitar wah. Found it in FL Cloud, and I had to make them unique because one of them is C, and then the other one is G. And it is kind of format pitched a little bit. This one is pitched down to G because it's originally C, but I also formatted it just kind of give it a lower tone. And the same thing here. This one's formatted just a little bit lower because I wanted it to have a bit of a lower tone. And the only thing that I have on those in the mixer is an EQ to kind of box it in down here. I didn't want it to interfere with the rest of the frequencies up here. And then I have the reverb just to kind of put it in a space. Like always, I want this whole entire instrumental to sound like it is in a space. Before I get into the guitar, I'll get into the drums. I'm using some FL Studio native drums as well. The kick, I have two separate kicks here, but they're doing the exact same thing. These kicks are blended together to make the kick sound that we have now. So this is the WG kick 7, and then the other kick is the RD kick 2. And if you hear these together, they sound like this. One of them gives us a good punch in the low end. The other one gives us a good smack in the top end. So they work together, and I have them on the mixer actually go into a bus track. I sent these to a bus track, so you got it here and here sent to this, and then I put the EQ on it. I put the fast distortion to kind of bring up that low end, bring in that harmonics up at the top, give it a little bit more aggression, and then once again I EQ'd it and boost that just a little bit more. So I'm making small movements, nothing major with these. Similar thing with the snares here. There are two different snares, the WG snare 16 and the RD snare 4. All of these are found in your pack, so you can find these. This should have come with your FL Studio. The WG snare 16 is doing a lot of the rolling and the flams here, and this is what it sounds like, but they do work together. And the reason I'm using a lot of flams is because in real life, a flam is just a grace note before the actual note. You see how the lower notes are coming right before the actual note, and yes, they are offbeat on purpose. It's the pocket. I do this on purpose. I know some people get in my comments like, your stuff is offbeat. I do this on purpose. It's part of the vibe. I promise you, it sounds more like somebody's playing it because it's not all computerized and on every single beat. So don't come at me about that. I really don't care. But I also use the flams because that's what it sounds like when somebody's really playing it, and it gives it a nice crisp sound to it. And then the other snare is doing the accents there. It's not really doing too much more, but this is what that one sounds like. It sounds like the actual drum that's on the drum set that somebody's actually playing, and mixing those two together, you get this sound. By itself, it sounds ridiculous, but when the music plays, it all falls right in line to what it's supposed to. And I also have those sent to a bus track as well. So I sent both of these to this track here, and then I put the parametric EQ, some distortion, and some reverb, all the same as the kick, whatnot. I didn't want to EQ them together, the kick and the snare together, so I didn't send them to the same bus track. But they're basically in the same space. And last but not least, my favorite part is this guitar. And my God, y'all, I go crazy with the guitar, okay? I'll let you see it. And then, of course, you've heard it at the beginning, but I'll let you hear it again. But I go crazy with the guitar, y'all, because, I don't know, it's just like I get this feeling when I'm playing. And I'm playing it all on this piano. I'm playing it all on the piano. What I'm using is the acoustic guitar here, direct wave, and you can find it in your packs too. Just go to guitars, classical, acoustic, and then I just have hardcore on it that makes it sound like that. If you have watched any of my other videos, you know I use hardcore to make my guitar distortion like this, and it's a preset that I've created called Hard Blues XL, basically a spinoff of Hard Blues XS that is already in hardcore. The good thing about this is that even if you don't have hardcore available, because not every edition of FL Studio has hardcore available or unlocked, should I say, you can still use this by just throwing on a fast distortion or reverb and delay, and you pretty much get the same effect. But what I'm doing here is I am pitch bending. So if you haven't seen my pitch bend video or how to make the guitar pitch bend like this, I do have a video about it, but I'll show you here. I just right click on this knob and I'll hit link to controller, and then my controller is a MIDI controller. I have a knob and I just move that knob, and as you can see, this moves also when I move that knob. So when I play, I can actually bend while I play. That's really all it is. This is something that I say you have to feel. I'm using the notes that are in the scale of C minor. It's kind of hard to break down exactly what I did. I just kind of played with the music, you know what I'm saying? Like when the music started playing, I started playing. So if I just mute this here and then I let the music play real quick, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Simple. You just start playing around with it and moving here and there, but that's really all it is. That's really it. It's kind of hard to break down exactly what I did with it. I just kind of played around with it, and that's what I encourage you to do. And then the arrangement, I just kind of cut up things. I didn't have to do anything different or anything new. I just cut up things that are here, that are already here, just kind of accent things. So like right here. And then here, I did another little cut up thing here and just kind of used the same thing twice. This pattern is different because I pitched the note up a little bit higher, but it's literally the exact same thing here, but it goes. Just to kind of give it some more movement, some more feeling, emotion, and whatnot. So that's really all it is. But that is completely everything I did, y'all. I don't really know what else to tell you. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you like. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, now go ahead and do so, because I do a lot of deconstruction videos like these. I'll do some cookups. And my very next video that I'm going to upload is the process of me mixing this instrumental, and that's going to come out next week. I still have to edit it out, but this one is ready. So once again, thank y'all so much, and I'll see y'all in the next video.